I have to tell you a story. This summer, we installed a heat pump, a reversible air conditioner from the brand Ayrton in our offices. Because it was 40 degrees, there was a heat wave and it was impossible to work in those conditions. It saved our lives, worked well, and let us work in good conditions. All reports on this YouTube channel note that summer is over and November was unusually cold, and we decided to heat ourselves with our new heat pump instead of our old water radiator that was connected to an electric boiler. I'm so old. Yesterday, I checked my electricity bill out of curiosity, and so I used half as much electricity this November compared to last year. And it makes sense because a heat pump, well, it uses 4 times less than a regular heater, so it saves a lot of money. Here in my house, I also had a slightly higher end heat pump installed. We're talking about the Oldies brand, which cost me 12,000 euros, and I made a video about it at the time. I'm still very happy with the whole installation, but if I had installed a system from Ayrton instead, it would have cost me 4,000 euros. Yeah, so the question is simple. Is it worth paying 3 times more for your heat pump? Does it allow you to save 3 times as much? Is buying an entry-level brand like Ayrton, which is 3 times cheaper, a good deal, or is it a scam? Well, that's what we're going to find out right now in this video. Subtitles by Société Radio Canada. I think it's pretty good. If we start by comparing the performance of these two heat pumps to see if one is more efficient than the other. Earlier, I was telling you that the heat pump uses 4 times less energy than a regular radiator. Well, I didn't just make up that number. It's actually written on the technical sheet of the heat pump. And with Ayrton, I can see that it has a seasonal coefficient of performance of 4 and a seasonal energy efficiency ratio of 6.3. To put it simply, a regular radiator uses 1 kilowatt-hour of electricity to produce 1 kilowatt of heating. A heat pump with a seasonal coefficient of performance of 4 uses 1 kilowatt-hour of electricity to produce 4 kilowatts of heating. So it's 4 times more efficient, and it's the same for cooling. A portable air conditioner uses 1 kilowatt-hour of electricity to produce about 2 kilowatts of cooling, while the reversible air conditioner from Ayrton uses 1 kilowatt-hour of electricity to produce 6.3 kilowatts of cooling. So you use 4 times less electricity compared to a heater and 3 times less compared to a portable air conditioner. Let's see if my heat pump, which costs 12,000 euros, 3 times more, is at least 3 times as efficient. My technical sheet shows a seasonal coefficient of performance of 4.19 and a seasonal energy efficiency ratio of 6.18. So overall, from an energy consumption point of view, the two heat pumps are very similar. The one that costs 3 times more isn't 3 times more energy efficient. In fact, it's just as energy efficient. But that's not the only criterion we need to look at, so let's move on. What also matters a lot when choosing a heat pump is the comfort it will bring us. Overall, do we stay warm enough in winter and cool enough in summer? The main difference between these two systems is the strength of the airflow. The splits from Ayrton have a small outlet that blows strongly, whereas the diffusion through a false ceiling uses much larger vents for a gentler distribution. Here, I'm not really comparing the two brands with each other. I'm rather comparing 2 types of heat pumps and different diffusion methods. The Ayrton air conditioner emits only 19 decibels, which is pretty quiet. But when it kicks into high gear to provide extra heating or cooling in the summer, the air conditioner decibels are still quiet. On the other hand, the system in the false ceiling really doesn't make any noise at all. Personally, in our offices, I'm there every day. Every day, I have the Ayrton heat pump running, and I've never been bothered by the noise. You can hardly hear it, you forget it's there. It's not really a problem, but the feeling changes too. The heat pump in the false ceiling distributes heat or cool air in a very gentle and even way. The split unit tends to blow strongly in a specific direction, so if you walk under it, you can sometimes feel a stream of hot or cold air. That's why we recommend installing split units at least 2 meters high if possible, away from areas where people walk or rest, like the couch or the bed, for example. And to direct the blades upward, in our offices, we had to install it facing our desks. And it's true that if you direct the blades downward, you really feel the airflow, but if you direct them upward, you don't feel anything at all. And we have almost the same comfort as what I have here in my house. And to finish, one last point, a little more about aesthetics than comfort. But in my house, the air conditioning is hidden in a false ceiling and in a closet, whereas in our offices, the one from Ayrton is visible. I don't think it's a major drawback. We had large radiators under our windows before and I didn't find them especially unattractive. So there you go, it's not a big problem, but it's something to take into consideration. In conclusion, if I had to pick a winner in this area, I would give the point to the heat pump in a suspended ceiling because it's a bit more comfortable, a bit more aesthetically pleasing compared to a split system, but it's a small point. I don't think having splits is a problem, but if I had to pick a winner, it would be the suspended ceiling system. Now let's move on to the installation question, and I'll start by summarizing the system I installed at home. First, I built a closet and an insulated suspended ceiling. It's not very complicated, but it took me about a week or longer, and I struggled to find the right insulation, do the drywall joints, and install everything. Next, I had to connect the heat pump to the outdoor unit and call in a professional to fill the pipes with refrigerant gas. Normally, all this installation work should be done by a professional. I did it myself because I made a tutorial about it and I was helped by the teams from Aldis. But for your project, you probably won't be able to do the installation yourself. In new construction, installing a ducted system like mine is simple, but in renovations, rebuilding a false ceiling and redoing drywall is often much more involved, which is where the solution, let's say with classic split units like what Ayrton offers, is much more suitable, much easier to install. And I'll explain to you a bit how I installed all of this in our offices. I started by mounting the split unit inside. I ran the pipes to the outdoor unit and connected them without the help of a professional. Because exclusive to Ayrton, they have a system, the Ready Climb, where the pipes and the outdoor unit are already pre-charged with gas. So there's no need for very complicated tools to start up the system. Compared to all the other brands, basically 99% of the installation can be done without the help of a professional. Unfortunately, in France, it's illegal to start your own heat pump. So you will absolutely have to call a professional to come give it a quick turn with a wrench and open the valves. At that point, you can ask Ayrton to connect you with their network of professionals to do the final startup. From an installation perspective, one system requires a professional to handle almost everything, taking weeks and involving heavy work. On the other hand, a system installable in one day, a little more, which only requires a professional at the very end to come and open the valves and validate the commissioning. So a clear point goes to Ayrton on that side. And I would even add that the thermostats connected to the Aldis heat pump still don't work. I've told Aldis for years it doesn't work on Apple apps, but Aldis never responds. They ignore me, so it annoys me a bit. Just a rant against Aldis. Fix your app. I'm tired of not being able to connect my heat pump to my phone and control it remotely. For Ayrton, it works with the Smart Life app. It's well done. I can control everything remotely in seconds. I'm surprised this entry-level system works better than a mid to high-end one. So really, point for Ayrton on this part. To sum up the battle, Ayrton and Aldis both get a point because they're equally efficient, one and the other. Aldis gets a small point for comfort, but Ayrton gets a big point for ease of installation. So, for now we're tied, but in 10 years, will we still be tied? Do both systems really have the same lifespan? It makes sense that a system costing 3 times more would last longer and be higher quality. And so, maybe it's a more profitable investment in the long term. Let's first look at the warranty. Both systems have a 2-year warranty, which can be extended up to 5 years. So here, there's no difference in terms of warranty, it's the same, but in terms of lifespan, I don't really have much data. I'd appreciate your feedback and experiences in the comments. If you've had a heat pump for 10, 15, 20 or 30 years, does it still work? But what is certain is that a large system like the one I installed in my house will surely be more expensive or more difficult to maintain and repair than a small system like the one from Ayrton. With that, I can take apart a split unit, send it back to repair a part or even replace it, and it won't cost me very much. I doubt my 12,000 euro system will actually last 3 times longer than my 4,000 euro system. So I can't really tell if it's worth spending 4 times more from a longevity point of view. So for this part, I'm going to give a point to both because I don't really have a way to compare them. They both offer good warranties. They both offer pretty interesting repairability options. So yeah, no one really has the advantage in this area. In conclusion, both systems are equally efficient, they're just as durable. The one from Aldus provides a bit more comfort and the one from Ayrton is much easier to install. If we had to add just one criterion to really set them apart, it would be the price. And here, I keep repeating it all the time. But with a budget 3 times smaller, less than 4,000 euros compared to 12,000 euros, the system from Ayrton wins hands down. I'm not saying it's the best system. I'm happy with the one I installed at home and don't regret it. But on the other hand, if I had had a tighter budget, if I had been renovating instead of building new, I definitely would have gone with a system from Ayrton. By the way, that's what I put in my offices because I was actually in a renovation situation and had a small budget. And actually, while looking for brands, I came across Ayrton. I contacted them, we did a collaboration together because I wanted to do it with them and it resulted in the great video. We made it in the summer about installing the heat pump and today it leads to the second video in collaboration with them. Because I'm really very happy and I wanted to share this tip, this advice for your heat pump. If you're interested, feel free to share your feedback about this type of heat pump in the comments. It will help enrich the video. Feel free to ask questions or add to my comments. Thank you, Davois. Watch this video until the end, share it widely, like it, and boost it so more people can see it. It's important for people to get equipped with heat pumps this winter because it would reduce heating consumption in French households by 4 times. It's really an ecological and economical measure, and it even brings more comfort than old electric heaters. So installing a heat pump is really a good piece of advice. Others have given this advice too, so I'll end the video now since it's probably already long. But look into it. Install a heat pump that suits your needs and don't hesitate to ask the professionals at Ayrton for advice. They'll help you choose the best system to install. See you soon on the channel. This was Julian. Bye.